Hey, just Jay here for AlphaGraphics Bountiful. I just wanted to do a quick video doing a lens comparison between the lenses that I use on the GH4 and the Canon 60D. I know that when I first was thinking about shooting 4K and switching over to the GH4, I was worried that my lenses weren't going to work. And obviously they have the Metabones Speed Booster. If you don't know what that is, check that out. The Metabones Speed Booster allows you to adapt your Canon lenses to the Panasonic GH4, and it does a really great job. One thing you might not know is that the GH4 actually has a little bit different field of view when you shoot in 1080 versus 4K. So I'll be switching between 1080 and 4K so you can see how the lenses look in each of those settings as well. So there's something called crop factor you may or may not be aware of, and it can get a little confusing without real-world visuals and comparisons. So hopefully this video helps fill in that gap. I recommend you try learning more about crop factor, but if all you want to know is if the lenses you've been using on your Canon camera will work almost identically on a GH4 with a Metabones Speed Booster, well, the answer is yes. So here's how my setup was for shooting. I never moved the tripod, although the camera unfortunately got tilted up and down in a few shots. I first shot all the lenses on the 60D and then all the lenses on the GH4. It was towards the end of the day, so the lighting did change from when I started shooting on the 60D to when I ended using the GH4. Here are the lenses we'll be looking at. Now this video is not meant to compare footage. You'll notice I have my aperture as wide as it will go on each lens, which means I had to shoot on really fast shutter speeds to get correct exposure since I was outdoors and wasn't going to put ND filters on. Normally, I would never shoot at these shutter speeds for video. I found most people want to see a lens at its widest aperture with the most shallow depth of field, so that's how I shot them. I know I said this isn't a footage comparison video, but it's easy to see that the GH4 provides a way sharper image than the Canon 60D. So this doesn't need any commentary, but as you watch this footage, I figured I would share some basics you should know. You can always mute it and just watch if you don't want to hear me talk. Here's some things to know. EF is the lens mounting system that Canon uses, and MFT is what the GH4 uses. It's an abbreviation for micro four thirds. MFT also refers to the sensor size. If you're coming from the Canon world, you probably use either a crop sensor camera, like the Canon 60D or 70D and T2i and up, or a full frame sensor, like the 6D or 5D Mark III, Mark II. Crop sensor is also called APS-C. It can get super overwhelming trying to remember and make sense of all the terms and techie stuff, but you should at least have a basic understanding of the terms. Now a little story. Metabones makes different types of adapters. Most people coming from the Canon DSLR world are going to want the Speed Booster and not the Smart Adapter. I made that mistake accidentally and got a Smart Adapter. I couldn't figure out why my lenses weren't working on the GH4 right. My wide angle was super wide and my 50mm I had to be miles away to get anything in the frame. Finally I realized I accidentally ordered the wrong thing. The Smart Adapter basically just connects the electronics so you can adjust aperture, shutter speed, and other settings from the camera. The Speed Booster on the other hand has a glass element in the middle of it that makes your lenses work almost exactly the same as when they're on an APS-C camera. It also allows the camera to let in more light and shoot at a larger aperture, giving you a more shallow depth of field. So yeah, don't do that. Most people are going to want the Speed Booster, not the Smart Adapter. Hopefully this will give you a good idea of what to expect out of your lenses if you have Canon glass and are thinking about switching over to the Panasonic GH4 using the Metabones Speed Booster. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'd love to hear your feedback, whether it's positive or negative, so we can continue to improve our channel. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe.